Hello.
Hello,
Hi, hi, Julie. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good, good. How was your first day?
Mm, there are many new subjects in grade 8, and most of the teachers are changed.
Oh, they've changed.
Yeah,
Okay, so you have well, new subjects and new teachers.
yes,
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Do you like it? Do you think do you like it so far?
yes,
You think you'll like your subjects? Yeah.
yeah.
What are some classes that you're taking?
Excuse me, teacher. My computer has little energy.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, that's fine. What are some of the subjects that you're taking?
Mm, physics.
Okay.
Mm, biology.
Wow. Okay. That's good.
Mm, nothing else.
Those are new classes. Yeah.
Yeah, new subject.
New subjects. Okay. Well, those and then the other ones you have are normal, like you have some mathematics, you have Chinese, you have English, stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Are you taking history too?
Yes,
Yep.
since grade 7.
Okay. So you have history as well. Okay. So and besides English and Chinese and math and history, any other classes that you're still taking?
Um, politics.
Okay, so you do have like government or politics, so you have that one as well. Yeah. Okay.
Music,
And
art.
music, art. Okay. So there's and do you still have PE?
Yes,
Okay. Okay. That's good. That's good. So that's quite a full schedule for you. Yeah.
yeah,
A lot of classes. Yeah. Okay. Well,
yeah,
that'll be good. I mean, physics and biology. Do you like those classes?
yes,
Yeah. Okay. Good. It's important I mean, if you don't like them, they can be difficult. But if you have an interest in those subjects, then sometimes it's easier because you want to be there. Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Anything else going on? Oh, you also didn't you go somewhere for a weekend before school started? Did you go somewhere with some of your classmates
Mm,
on a Sunday or something last week?
I went to the water park
Yeah.
last
Okay.
Saturday.
Okay. And how was that?
Fun.
Okay. Can you tell me a little bit about it? I'm trying to get you to speak more, Julie, not just answer questions, yes, no, one word at a time. I'm trying to get you to speak more in complete sentences and about different things. So that's something that you did. Why don't you tell me about the water park?
Mm, um, there are two new water slides,
That sounds fun. Yeah.
but it's for adults.
Oh, okay. So you didn't get to go on those.
No.
Okay. So tell me what you did.
So I can only play the other water slides.
Okay.
Um,
Any,
uh,
anything interesting that you and your friends did? I mean, just try to think back, being at that water park, and just tell me maybe some of the things that you saw, or some of the things that you did, or maybe what you ate, or I just want you to start trying to speak more. That's really important with English.
we played many water slides.
Okay, so you went
Some
on
is very
you
big. Some are very big.
okay. Are they scary?
No.
Okay. It, anything else?
To my opinion, they are not scary. Uh, uh, uh,
Did you do anything else with your friends?
and we ate barbecue.
Oh, that sounds good. Okay. And were you there all day?
Mm, where are they?
Were you there all day, like the entire day?
Yeah, all day.
All day. Okay. Um, anything else?
Uh, mm,
Anything else that you want to share?
no.
Okay. All right, let's go to we're going to do starting chapter 6, called Small Worlds. Okay. And it says on there, it says the yellow eggs of a large white butterfly under a microscope. So that's what this is. Okay. They're magnified, obviously, right? But this is what large yellow eggs of a large white butterfly. Interesting. Okay, go ahead and read the first question and see if you can answer the questions.
Mm, what are some things that are too small to see with the human eye?
Okay.
Uh, such as virus,
Okay. Okay.
and germs.
Germs?
Germs.
Yeah, okay. All right. How about number 2?
Have you ever looked at something under a microscope? What was it? Yes, I have. It was a piece of onion.
Okay, okay. All right. And number 3.
In what ways do you think very small creatures can be useful to us? Uh, mm, mm, mm.
Anything? How can small creatures. Now I know you're just relatively new, just taking biology, but there's probably things that you have. I don't know if you learned anything yet since you started, but anything in biology might be useful for a question like that, especially talking about like microbes and things like different different microorganisms that also that you can't see with the naked eye, that you would need a microscope or something to see that. And microbes. If you haven't, have you ever heard of that term before? Microbes?
No.
No. Okay. You'll probably see that or hear it in biology, and you might be able to. It'll probably be useful for you, but they're just like, it's talked about like organisms and how certain things are talking about vitamins and proteins and how the structures of some of these cells and things like that are. So that's okay. We'll skip that. All right, let's see if we can. I don't know if you'll be able to, it says before you read, if you'll be able to kind of look at these and then the questions, and then we will take a look at some reading. Okay. Look at the or look at the sidebar here first.
Around us, there are millions of these tiny plants, insects, fish, and other animals, but we rarely see them. Most of these organisms live in the soil or, like the one pictured, in the water. Some are only a centimeter in size.
Yeah, and as you can see in that picture there, I mean, that's a lot of those things are blown up, but there's a lot of different little organisms and stuff that are that you really can't see. Some things you can, but some things are really tiny, and you have to see like in a microscope or something like that. Okay. Let's go ahead and start reading in 1 cubic foot. Okay.
In any environment, forest, mountain, water, you always see the big animal first. Birds, mammals, fish. But under your feet, on land or in the water, there are many smaller organisms. Insects, tiny plants, miniature
meaning very small.
Miniature sea creatures. They seem unimportant, but in fact, these sea creatures are ground
Dwellers.
The dwellers
Uh-huh.
are the heart of life on Earth, says naturalist E.O. Wilson. Without them, our world would change dramatically.
Okay, I got a question for you. And maybe you already know this, but I'm just going to kind of point it out just in case. Do you know what these little numbers are when you see those over something that you're reading? I'm kind of circling in here. You know what those are? It says 1, 2, 3, and 4 on this page. You know what that is?
There is a sidebar.
Yeah, they usually
Right.
yeah, and it gives you like a definition of a word or a subject or something that they're talking about. They don't want to put it in the actual writing, but it's usually defined. It could be in a sidebar, it could be down below, like in a footnote. So you probably already know what creature is, but if you didn't, you would see the definition there. But you may not know what a dweller is, and that's what makes it really useful, because as you're reading and you see that and you read it and it says, these sea creatures and ground dwellers are the heart of life on Earth, and you're thinking, what's a dweller? And you can right there you can scroll and just read it, to yourself. A dweller is a person or a thing that lives in a certain place. Really non-specific, but just so you have like a reference to it. Okay, I just want to make sure you knew that one. Okay, the cycle of life.
Most organisms on Earth live on the ground or just below it. Here, they are part of an important cycle. Plants and animals fall to the ground when they die. Later, tiny insects and other organisms break down the dead plant and animal material. This process eventually returns nutrients to the soil and gives plants energy. Plants can then help to maintain a healthy environment for humans and other animals.
Okay, and let me take that. All right, and let's go where it says discoveries in a cube.
Despite their importance, scientists know very little about most ground organisms. To learn more, photographer David
Some of these names I know. This looks like the Lichtschwager.
Lichtwager went to different places around the world, including a forest, a river, a mountain, and a coral reef. In each place, he put a green 12-inch, 30 centimeters cube on the ground or in the water. Then he and his team counted and photographed the organisms that lived in or moved through the cube. Often they discovered hundreds, some only a millimeter in size. It was like finding little
Gems. Uh-huh.
gems, he says.
Okay, and there's a definition for gems, right? A beautiful stone used in jewelry like this. Okay, coral reef, Polynesia.
More real French
Polynesia. Uh-huh.
Polynesia. Here, Lichtweiler saw thousands of creatures in the cube and photographed over 600. The team identified as many as possible, but it was difficult. Many of the animals they found were new species.
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 Okay. And you see that, look at that baby octopus. Okay. Let's take a look at a tropical cloud forest.
Monteverde.
Verde. Uh-huh.
Monteverde, Costa Rica.
Costa Rica.
There is a lot of plant diversity in this region. Almost 125 species that live here are found now nowhere else on Earth.
Okay. And that name, just so you FYI, for your information, Monteverde, that is actually a Spanish name. Two words there. Verde is Spanish for green, V-E-R-D, and then Monte is Spanish for mountain. So what that means is a green mountain, right, in Costa Rica. And it kind of fits it, you know? Yeah. Okay. And then here we have this. It looks like that they call that I've never seen one, but that one is a scarab, and it's a jewel scarab. some kind of, looks like a beetle, like a beetle. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. And then just go ahead and take a look. There's another, this one here, mountain. Fynbos.
Mountain fynbos. Table Mountain, South Africa. Large animals live here, but most creatures in this region are very small, include the cube. Inside the cube, Lichtwager's team identified some of these over 90 separate species found, 25 being plants on the soil surface.
Okay, so a lot of different plants and stuff inside of that one. And then we have this one that's called Alisundu. And it looks like some kind of plant, right? And half of these, I mean, I've never even heard of. Like that, I never heard of. But I know scarabs and things like that, but I don't know exact specific names. There's all different. There's hundreds, thousands of species of different types of insects and stuff like that. Okay, let's take a look at the comprehension and see if we can kind of remember that, like number one.
Another title for this reading could be The Importance of Tiny Organisms.
Okay, good. And number two?
And line 4. Miniature means very small.
Yep, good. Number 3.
Where do most organisms on Earth live? On or just below the ground.
Exactly. Good. Number 4.
Lichtwager and his team used the cube to collect different species for research.
Well, probably a better choice was, I think it's B. He photographed all those things, count and photograph animal species. Because remember, I think it was like line 20. Kind of take a look. He and his team counted and photographed the organisms that lived or moved through the cube. Kind of look on lines 23. See the section here. Then he and his team counted and photographed. Okay, so that's probably the better choice. Okay, next one.
In line 17, there refers to.
Do you have that one on your, do you have that book, Julie? Do you have that part or no? Okay. For me, that one is, I think, like chapter 6. Let's see if your page is the same. I don't know, page 82, where these questions are. But more importantly, besides the questions, would be the text, if you have this. And it's, I think it's chapter 6, Small Worlds.
I have the same article, but
Different questions.
There, but it doesn't tell me the line.
Oh, it doesn't give you the line like in this one. It does. Okay, I'll bring it up. Here's they're chunked out by every 5. So I'll kind of leave it here because it said line 17. And it's right here, there, despite their importance. Okay, you got that? And then here's the question. There refers to what?
Ground organisms.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, number 6.
Why was it difficult to identify these creatures at a coral reef? Many were new to science.
Exactly. And then number 7.
Why does Schwager call the organisms little gems in line 27?
And I'll go back to 27 if you want to see that. And then I'll go back to the question.
They are difficult for him to see.
I want to say it's B. He thinks that they are valuable and precious. Let's kind of take a look at that. The way he talked about them. Someone who's like finding little gems. Yeah, I mean, it's not. I guess it's not really clear. Yeah, but that's what it seems like. I don't know. You could say A. They're difficult for him to see, but a gem. Just so you know, remember the definition of a gem is something like a little stone, right? And usually we look at a gem when we think of a gem, we think of something kind of valuable or something really precious. So like if your mother gave you a, let's say she gave you a little necklace or a ring or something that had a beautiful little stone in it, and you would look at that as being, you would say, oh, this is a beautiful gem. And not that they're very small, because some gems can be really big, but to most people, gems are valuable and or precious. You know, they mean something, but they also could be worth something, a lot of money too. So that's why, and he's saying gems. And to me, it's more like something that's valuable and precious. That's what I think it is. Yeah, okay. And then take a look where it says, did you know? That's interesting too.
Many thousands of species, mostly different types of bacteria, live in a single gram of garden soil. Most are still unknown to science.
Isn't that amazing? For as much as we know about science and stuff now, it's something that's just in the ground that we walk on every day. And a lot of those bacterias are still foreign to scientists. We don't know what they are. I think it's kind of interesting. Okay, let's take a look at the next part where it says understanding sequence. Okay, go ahead and read this. Read the block first. What's in here?
When you sequence events, you put them in the order in which they occur. Sequencing is important for gaining a deeper understanding of the relationship between events in a process. Some common words that can signal
Signal.
sequence are after, then, later, once, when, and as soon as. One way to show sequence is to list events in a chain diagram.
Okay. And I think we talked about this before. We talked about it just like in writing, like with English. We talked about sequencing and some of the words that you use when you go from one thing to the next to keep kind of everything in a flow, something that's kind of organized well so you don't get lost all over the place. Yeah. Okay, go ahead and let's take a look at, and go ahead and read the little sidebar up here first.
David Lichthager discovered and photographed hundreds of species living in this 3,200-year-old giant
That's a sequoia.
Sequoia tree called the President.
Yeah, and I've heard they're like one of the largest trees ever, a sequoia tree. I believe they had, I think I've seen them, and I think they're in Oregon. I think they live in that area, but they're very old. I didn't realize that they can live that long, but they're saying this one was 3,200 years. That's a long time. Okay, that seems almost impossible. Anyway, let's take a look at this. I'll see if you can do it. Since you have the article there, it doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter the lines on it, like lines 5, 6, 7, and 8. What they want you to do here, it says read the second paragraph of the reading passage again. And it says underline the signal words or phrases that indicate a sequence. And then you're going to put all of those in sequencing in order. So you're going to put the life cycle events in order of the diagram, like what is A, what is B, what's C, like what comes first, and that is in the second paragraph.
Later.
Okay, so you have when, and then later. What else? What else do you have?
Then.
What else? When, later.
Then.
Yeah.
Then.
Then, okay, okay, okay. And what about putting, it says put the life cycle events A through F in order. Can you name those in sequential order, how they should be, what goes first?
Hmm.
And they're giving you they're giving you the first one, right? Plants and animals die. We're going to start with A. What
Oh,
would, okay, so
okay.
yeah, so number A is the first one. We start there. Plants and animals die. What happens after that one? B, C, D,
Uh,
E, or F?
that plants and animals fall to the ground.
Exactly. So that would be E. Good. And then what happens after E?
That material is broken down.
Okay, good. So now we're breaking it down. And then what happens after D?
Nutrients are returned to the soil.
Exactly. Good. And then what happens after F?
Mm, living plants get energy
Yeah.
from the nutrients in the soil.
Okay. And the last
Plants
one.
help to
Yep.
support life for animals and humans.
Okay. Good job. See, you're going to know a lot of this stuff beforehand when you learn it in biology. Okay. So, anyway, critical thinking. Go ahead and read that where it says discuss with a partner. Uh-huh.
Mm,
Where, yeah, it says
discuss
critical
with a
thinking.
partner.
Mhm.
Where in your area would you look for tiny organisms? What do you think you might find? In what ways do you think the world would change if there were no tiny creatures?
Okay. First of all, where you live, right? Where would you think you would find or look for, if you were scientists, where would you look for tiny organisms?
Mm, in the countryside.
Okay. All right. Something that where there's a lot of, I mean, you're not going to probably find it in the city with a lot of buildings, right? But if you go out in the country and dig under certain things, you'll probably find a lot, right? Okay. And it says, what do you think you might find? Well, what do you think you might find?
Uh,
Organisms. um, that's kind of, good point. It says, in what ways do you think the world would change? If there were no tiny creatures.
um,
Think, thinking about it that way. And remember, you kind of went through that whole cycle, the whole sequencing when plants and animals die and how important they are. Everything goes to the ground and all those nutrients, um, supply basically the life form again of plants and animals, right? So what would happen if we didn't have any of that?
plants and plants will have no energy
Yeah, I
and
mean, it's
they will die.
exactly. And at some point, everything's just gonna be dead. Once everything runs its life cycle and there's no regeneration of plants or animals, that would, finally come to an end. Okay, let's see if we can pick out the correct word where it says completion, number A.
One of the smallest animals in the world is a type of insect called a fairy fly. The male fairy fly of one species
So,
is only 0.17 millimeters in length, about the size of the period at the end of this sentence. Not much is known about the life cycle
mhm.
of fairy flies. but we do know they don't live long, between only 2 and 11 days.
Yeah, okay. Not very long at all. Okay, and keep going.
Fairy flies can live in many different environments. For example, they can stay underwater for up to 15 days. However, most of them are found in rainforests, the areas with the greatest fairy fly diversity.
Diversity, good.
Diversity are in Australia, New Zealand, and South America. While fairy flies are considered to be one of the world's smallest animals, one day scientists may discover even smaller creatures.
Okay, good job. And then number B.
A process is a series of actions that produces something.
Okay, good.
A dramatic event is big and sudden.
Good. Number 3.
If you maintain a healthy weight, it doesn't change much.
Good. And number 4.
Humans receive energy from food.
Very good. And number 5.
A team is a group of people who work together.
Work together. Good job. Okay. And we'll skip that where it says word partnership. That's okay. Let's go to a world within us. Okay. Take a look. Yeah, go ahead and read number A or B, or not A or B. True or false, number A.
You have more bacteria in your body than human cells.
What do you think?
False.
Actually, that's true. We have we have a lot more bacteria, but a lot of it, I mean, it's good bacteria. That's okay. Yeah, we do. So, okay. Number 2.
In our body, most bacteria is in our mouth. Oh, I don't know. False.
Good. That's right. That's true. You're correct. Good. Number 3.
Most bacteria in our bodies are dangerous to us. False.
False, right? Because I was just telling you. Remember, we have a lot of good bacteria, and we need that. And then number 4. You got
Biotics.
Ticks, antibiotics.
Antibiotics can be bad for us.
Okay.
True.
Yeah, that's correct. Let me ask you, why do you think that is?
I don't know.
Okay, first of all, take a look at number 2, where it says antibiotics, the description of that. Right? It says a type of medicine that stops bacterial infections. Right? And remember, we have a lot of bacteria in our body. If you take a lot of antibiotics, meaning no biotics, right? You're killing a lot of that bacteria inside of you, okay? And sometimes it's needed, yes, that's true. But what it ends up doing is it can be bad for you because it makes your body weaker, um, less resistant to fight something else off if you get it. All that, if we have no bacteria, if we take no antibiotics, many times and we catch things all the time. And you don't know that you've caught something like, maybe some kind of minor infection or something like that. And many times your body will heal itself because of all the good bacteria that you have inside of it. So you don't always need medicine to cure everything, right? And one big misconception, just so you understand this too, antibiotics are good for killing some kind of serious bacterial infection. An antibiotic is not good for a virus. It can't kill a virus. So, we know this COVID is a virus, right? So there's no kind of antibiotic that you can take to kill the COVID virus, because viruses are totally different than bacterial infections. Okay, just kind of basic. All right.
Okay.
So when people say, "Oh, I've got a cold," which is a virus, right? A common cold that you catch, achoo, your nose is running, you've got watery eyes, you're coughing, that's all a virus. And there's no antibiotic that you can take that will cure that. It just doesn't exist yet. Okay, life in miniature. Go ahead.
Bacteria, they're invisible. They're everywhere, and we need them to live. In our bodies, bacteria outnumber human cells by 10 to 1. All these bacteria weighs as much as your brain, nearly 3 pounds, 1.3 kilograms. Most bacteria in our bodies are not harmful. In fact, many benefit us in important ways. They help us digest food, they make important vitamins, and they help fight infections. But some bacteria can be dangerous. Take, for example,
and a lot of these medical terminology names I really are not familiar with, but that one kind of looks like a staphylococcus, something like that. Aureus. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, okay. It lives. Go ahead.
It lives in our noses. Usually, it's harmless. Other bacteria in the nose control it. But if as
blah blah
travels to another environment, things change. In skin, for example, it can cause deadly infections.
Okay. And here's kind of a diagram, a chart here for there's like 4 different species of bacteria. Yeah. And you look at that, and of course and I don't know because I'm not a scientist, but I would imagine all of those species has a name. Just like that one you just tried to read, right? And in the tongue alone, there's 7,947 different types of bacteria species that are just in the tongue. And you see all the other places like the throat, behind the ear, and in the nostrils. Yeah. So interesting. Okay, then go ahead. We cure.
We cure most bacterial infections with antibiotics, but there are problems with this medicine. Antibiotics kill bad infection-causing bacteria, but this medicine kills good bacteria in our bodies too. When we kill the good kind, This can cause other health problems. A lack of certain bacteria in the body can make us sick. So what can we do? We should not use antibiotics very often, says scientists. We can fight infections, but we also need to maintain healthful bacteria in the body. To help us do this, doctors are now developing probiotic remi- re-
Remedies.
remi-
Remedies, like a
remedies.
solution.
These new medicines will return certain bacteria to the body and restore the balance our body needs. For years, we thought all bacteria were dangerous. Of course, some are, but we are learning that many bacteria keep us healthy. They live on and within us, and our well-being depends on them.
Yeah, and that's true. And so there's the largest portion right there of bacteria is in our large intestines. And there's over 33,627 different species of bacteria that live in our large intestine. Right? Interesting. And that would kind of make sense because that's where all of our digestion and everything happens with our food before we get rid of it, right? Yeah. Okay, see if we can answer the questions on this.
What is the purpose of this reading? To describe how bacteria are important to our bodies.
Okay, good. And number 2.
Which sentence? Which
Statement.
statement about bacteria is true? We cannot live without bacteria.
Exactly, good. Number 3.
In lines 4 to 5, it says, in our bodies, bacteria outnumber human cells by 10 to 1. What does this mean? There are more bacteria than human cells.
That's good. Number 4.
What is the purpose of the third paragraph?
Do you have that in your book? That passage?
No.
No, you don't have that one. Okay. Let's kind of take a look at that one. I think it's starting with number line 10. And then I'll go back to the question. What's the purpose of the third paragraph?
To explain why
Explain.
some bacteria can be dangerous.
Good job. And then number 5.
What does it in line 14 refer to?
Here, I'll go back to 14. What are they mostly talking about in that paragraph? It's Remember, every species has a name. What was the big name on this one? It's the, well, I think you read it. You'll pick it out in the question. It's that staph, right? Staphylococcus aureus. Okay, number 6. You remember this one. Probiotics.
B.
Remember, not necessarily. What can probiotic remedies do? Why did scientists invent that? What was the objective to that? If we take antibiotics, that kills a lot of bacteria, not just the bad, but also the good. So as a result of that, they tried to introduce or bring back probiotics into our bodies. And what was the point of that? To get the healthy bacteria, to get the healthy bacteria back into our bodies. That's why they try to introduce or bring probiotic remedies into our system to regenerate, to bring back the good stuff. Because the antibiotics killed healthy bacteria, so we got to bring that healthy bacteria back into our body. Yeah. Okay, number 7.
What
does well-being mean?
In line 28, what does well-being mean? Health.
Health, exactly, right? Good job. And then go ahead and just read that last little sidebar there. It says, did you know? Okay.
Bacteria infecting viruses known as phages are the most common form of life on Earth. There are more phages than stars in the universe. More than 1 trillion exist in the human body.
Okay. So we have, like you say, 1 trillion, right? That's a lot. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, that's just like a did you know? I mean, it's remarkable. Anyway, I know our time is up. We'll stop here. There's not much left, but we'll stop here and come back next week. Any last minute questions though before we go on that one?
No.
No. Do you like this? Do you think it'll help you a little bit when you're taking biology? Okay. I think it will. I mean, it depends on what you'll be talking about. You only you just started your class, right? You just started school last week or this week, right? You started school on Tuesday or Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Okay, so today was only day 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have an idea though of what kind of biology or what you're going to be looking at, or not really? Not yet. Like what areas?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Do you?
I think it is difficult.
Oh, okay. Well, you can tell me more about it next week. Okay. Anyway, you'll have another week in school. All right. With that, hey, Julie, have a great weekend. And I know you're probably ready to have homework. and you're going to be doing a lot of studying. So
Ah,
anyway, good luck with all that. All right.
thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Good job. I'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye, Julie.